Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be showing you how to make the pasta dish that went with the meatballs that I made in my previous video. If you watched that video, if you haven't, please go check it out and you will not regret it. Anyway, I decided to divide the two elements of the meal because I didn't want the previous video to be too long and I didn't want to rush it as well with too many fast forwarded clips and like increasing the speed to 10 and then anyway, so I decided to divide the video and today I'll be showing you how to prepare the pasta dish. And so if you're interested, and even if you're not interested, like I always say, please continue watching. So first I cut up 2 shallots that I used. I'm not going to be using that shallot. That shallot was actually reserved for the meatballs themselves, and I cut up 2 shallots and a thumb of ginger that I'm also going to be mincing up into ginger mince and then I'll be adding that to the pot. Additionally to that, I'll also be adding in some garlic, but I'll only be adding this in after the onion and the ginger have fried a little bit more. I like to put in my ginger with my onion because I don't know, I have a feeling that ginger takes much longer to cook than garlic does. So I always put it in with my onion when I do use it until the onion is translucent and it's browned, and I add in my garlic. But this time around, I actually didn't let the ginger and the onion brown before I added in the garlic. I actually just added them all in at once. Well, not literally at once, because you see I've added the onion first and the ginger, then the garlic. But my point is I let them fry together as one union together as a family, as opposed to letting them brown and doing it at different stages. And the reason why I did that, I think, was a time thing. I think I wanted to make a very, very quick, simple pasta dish, and it was just easier if I just added the onion, garlic, and ginger at once to fry together. So that's what I tried to do here, although it's not literally at the same time. The amount of garlic that I used, but anyway, the amount of garlic that I used was 4 cloves of garlic, 1 pound of ginger, and 3 cloves of garlic. And then I added in a tablespoon of olive oil to the pot as well. And then I added in some salt because you have to season at every stage. Remember this, season at every stage. And then I just let that fry off for 5 minutes until the fragrance in the kitchen and the aromatics were doing their job and being aromatic. I'm just going to let this fry until in the meantime we're going to cut up our tomatoes. Next I will be cutting up and dicing up 1 large tomato. I'm not actually just using 1 tomato, I'll be using a combination of this size tomato as well as baby cherry tomatoes as well. Well, they're not baby cherry tomatoes, they are cherry tomatoes, and the reason for that is really just for aesthetics and because I love the sensation of cherry tomatoes bursting in your mouth, whereas tomatoes, like when you cut them up, they don't really give the same effects because, you know, it's not like, yeah, you get the idea. Anyway, so I will be using 1 cup of halved cherry tomatoes eventually. Like, yeah, eventually when I do use them, I will be using 1 cup. And the reason why I'm prepping now is because I don't like to prep the vegetables that I like to use just as I need them. I like to have them readily available on hand for me to use so that things don't burn and then the cooking process is not too long. So while you're waiting for your onions to fry, don't just stand and watch the onions. Pro tip, rather prep the rest of your vegetables where you can. Splash of water just in case. While we're there, I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of herbs, half a teaspoon of cumin, half a teaspoon of coriander. Just add a mix. After the second meat glaze has evaporated, we're going to add in that 1 tomato that I was talking about that is readily available for me to use now because I had already prepped it beforehand. So after adding that, I'm also going to be adding in the cherry tomatoes that are halved. As you can see here, I halved them, and these cherry tomatoes make up about approximately 1 cup of halved cherry tomatoes in total, and I'll be adding that to the pot as well to cook. And soon after adding that and mixing it around because I always like to mix before I move to my next step, just to avoid burning. As you can see, there's a lot of flavor at the bottom sticking that we're going to need to do something about. I added in 2 tablespoons of tomato paste as well. Remember, the base of this sauce is tomatoes after all, so don't be afraid and don't be stingy with the tomato paste. You can actually go more than this if you like. I just didn't want it to be too tomatoey. I still wanted to taste the other flavors in the dish. And then I'm adding in 1 cup of reserved pasta water. You have to reserve your pasta water. Not only are you going to be saving the environment because you're using much less water and you're recycling your water, but also you're helping to thicken your sauce much quicker because in the starch from the pasta is in the water, and also the saltiness from the pasta, provided that you salt your water like you should. Anyway, and then we're going to close the pot for 10 minutes and let it cook on high. Those are the meatballs that will be served with this pasta dish. They look yummy, don't they? I actually showed you how to make this recipe in my previous video, and if you haven't watched that video, please go and watch. So while we were cooking that, as you can see, I like to multitask. I cooked my meatballs for about 8 minutes, and as soon as they were done cooking, it meant obviously that it was time for me to check on my tomato pot, since the 10 minutes was around about up by then. After opening the pot, I added in some black pepper. The amount of black pepper here is actually not that much. It just looks like a lot because like I don't know, not a lot was coming out. So how much black pepper I added in was actually half a teaspoon about, and I also added in a pinch of salt to taste, which was also about half a teaspoon. And then I mixed that nicely and thoroughly to ensure all the flavors are incorporated throughout the whole sauce, and then closed the pot for an additional 5 minutes to cook the tomato sauce on low. Once it is done cooking, we are done, and now we're just going to be adjusting the seasoning. Add more salt if you want to add more salt, add more pepper if you want to add more pepper. I definitely added in more pepper, and I also added in more mixed herbs just because I don't know if it's just in my head, but in my head I believe that the flavor of the herbs goes away with time. You cook it away, with the hours. Not that I cooked this for an hour long, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, so I also added in my pasta that was already cooked and readily available. See guys, this is why I should always do things beforehand, so it's fast. You just move in the kitchen. I'm being very annoying. I'm sorry, I'm very hyper. I had some coffee, and I don't usually have some coffee. Just a little bit about my life. So yeah, anyway, I added my pasta, and look how saucy that is. It's so saucy. Look how much sauce there is. That pasta ratio of sauce to pasta is wonderful for me. I don't know about you. I don't know if you're more of a pasta gal or more of a sauce gal, but I think I have been converted. And just because it's me and I like to find new ways and new opportunities and just be creative with where I can add my greens, I decided to also add in some baby spinach because I saw it in this fridge. This was not the original plan, obviously, but I could not resist. So why not add in some spinach, especially when I have so much sauce? Like, I'm not gonna die. If anything, I'm gonna live a healthier, tastier life. And trust me, that spinach was not a lot, and also you don't actually taste it, so it's not like it's gonna really bring down the flavor of the dish if you're worried about that, especially if you don't like spinach. But I do, so even if it's fine. For me, it's fine. Anyway, and then you serve it up and you enjoy. I served my pasta dish with my meatballs on top, just for more protein and because they were bomb. If you haven't checked out my video, again, check it out because, like, life-changing. I tried out this new brand that I don't usually try out when it comes to mock meat, especially. I've tried out their natural peanut butter, I've tried out their cereal and their snacks and crackers, but I hadn't tried out their plant-based mock meat, and now that I did, I don't regret it, and I recommend that you can try it too. It was really yummy. And that is my simple tomato sauce and pasta served with my vegan meatballs and topped with nutritional yeast. Enjoy. Thank you for watching. Even more nutritional yeast because why not? I'm living a good life, man. And until next time.